Hello, Rosamili Sumejo, a Juris Doctor student of St. Mary's University. And today I will be sharing some points regarding charter-based monitoring mechanism. So here we go. So the two kinds of monitoring system is the United Nations charter-based system and the treaty-based mechanism system. So these are the two kinds of monitoring system. So first is the United Nations charter-based system. So what is it about the United Nations charter-based system? It is composed of three. There's a three composition. First is the General Assembly, the Economic and Social Council, and the Human Rights Council. So what is the General Assembly? The General Assembly is the highest deliberative organ in the United Nations system. It is composed of all members of the United Nations. So it has the power to initiate studies and make recommendations for the purpose of assisting in the realization of human rights and fundamental freedoms. It carries out the United Nations vision to promote universal respect for and observation of human rights. So it is also through the General Assembly that core human rights treaties such as the CEDAW, the CERD, the CRC were made into a legally binding agreement. And the next is uh, the United Nations Human Rights Council. So it was created on March 15, 2006 by the General Assembly. It is composed of 47 states. The membership is based on an equitable geographical distribution. So United Nations, the UNHRC human rights mandates is to promote human rights education and learning. It also serves as forum for dialogue on thematic issues on all human rights. Make a recommendation to the General Assembly. It also has to promote the full implementation of human rights obligation undertaken by the state. So it undertake a universal periodic review. It contribute to a dialogue and cooperation towards prevention on human rights violation. It also assumed the role and responsibilities of Commission on Human Rights. It worked closely, of course, with the government and private organizations, as well as other national human rights institutions and civil society. It makes recommendation to the promotion and protection of human rights. So what is it about the Universal Periodic Review System? It is the most important functions of the UNHRC. This is the modality of United Nations to monitor the human rights situations of every member state. So what is the objectives of UPR system? First, of course, primarily the improvement of human rights, the fulfillment of state human rights obligations and commitment and enhancement of states' capacity and technical assistance. So it's also a way to share the best practices among states and stakeholders. The encouragement of full cooperation and engagement with the council. So what are the governing principles of UPR system? So these are the governing principle. It promotes the universality, the independence and indivisibility and interrelatedness of all human beings. So this is how it is done. From the preparation of the national report down to the implementation of the outcome of UPR. Also, this is how it goes the complaint. So it will determine the admissibility until the HRC will proceed to inform the state and concern of the actions taken that should it adopt the draft resolution or not. So what are the composition of special procedure of UNHRC? So these are the independent expert, the special rapporteurs, the country visits, and the thematic report of individual communication. So let's just review this. So this is the how complaint is done in the uh, system. So first, there's a complaint. There's so the WGC will determine its admissibility. So if it's admissible, the state concerned will be requested to comment on the communication. So after the comment of the state, the WGC will determine if the information reveal a consistent pattern of gross and attested violence. So if there's a positive determination, it will transmit the communication and comments as well as its recommendation to the WGS. So the working group may either accept the recommendation or dismiss the communication. In case of dismissal, it needs the consensus both of all the working group members. So in case WGS accept the recommendation, it will drop a resolution and a decision which will be forwarded to the Human Rights Council. So the HRC will proceed to inform the state concerned of the action taken and should it adopt the draft resolution or not. So that's how conflict or the complaint is being run. Okay, so that's it for the monitoring system of United Nations. Thank you.